You're watching Reality Check. As we enter festival season, crowded markets are amongst the many visible markers of a supposed economic recovery. But over a year now into the pandemic, the rising surge in Narendra numbers, considered a barometer of rural distress, suggests the reality, especially in India's rural hinterland, which might be starkly different. Narendra numbers are surging, even as worryingly almost all Indian states have run out of cash for the Employment Guarantee Scheme, and it's just halfway through the year, a scheme which has served as a vital lifeline for the rural poor during the lockdown. It's only November, and 23 states in all have run out of cash to make Narendra payments, an estimated 8,600 crores short. The centre, however, claims there is no cash crunch, but let's dive into this in more detail to understand what's going on. Now, households provided employment in September 2019, which is, remember, a non-pandemic year, is about 1 crore. September this year, it's jumped almost double to 2 crores, according to government data. Now, funds are running out. Funds were made available was about 73,000 crores, but already spent so far halfway through the year is 82,000 crores. So already about 8,600 crores short as of November 3rd. The worst hit states hit by this: Andhra Pradesh, negative, almost 3,000 crores. West Bengal, negative 1,600 crores. Tamil Nadu, down 1,000 crores. Madhya Pradesh, down 980 crores. Kerala, down 560 crores. So just look at that. So many states now with negative balance sheets when it comes to Narendra money. Now, state after state, from M.K. Stalin in Tamil Nadu to Naveen Patnaik in Odisha, have written to the centre saying that they don't have the cash and they want the cash. But the centre has put out a statement. Rural Development Ministry says the fund release is a continuous process. There's actually been almost a 20% of an increase in the funds allocation this year, and they have about 9,000 crores left which they can use to pay the wages. But the fact is that the centre did cut Narendra funds in a pandemic year. Let's look at the numbers. 1.1 lakh crore was the revised estimates for 2020-21 financial year. In this financial year, the budget estimates of 2021-22 was just 73,000 crores, which is almost 35% down. In fact, to meet the surging demand, the centre would have had to actually spend almost 3 times what it has allotted this year. Massive mismatch. The cost to provide 100 days wages to all 2 lakh crore, to all of those who have signed up for Narendra, would be 2 lakh crore rupees. But the budget has only supplied 73,000 crores. This is calculated on the basis of 9.8 crore active job card holders who are entitled to 208 rupees per person day. So that's where we stand with this looming Narendra crisis. All right, joining me tonight, we have with us A. Sharavanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Jayati Ghosh is with us, professor of economics at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. PKD Nambiar, political analyst, supports the BJP. Dr. Mohammad Javed, Lok Sabha MP, Congress member, Parliamentary Committee on Rural Development. Let me start with you, Mr. Sharavanan, because now you are amongst the states that have written to the centre saying, where's the money? You saw the centre statement. They're saying there's no problem. Money is there.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating. When there is no money with the government to disburse to the workers, it means there is no money. The central government may say so many things, like they spoke about the vaccination drive, 30,000 crores, 35,000 crores, and the union minister has the temerity to say that we are collecting the huge petrol tax for giving free vaccines. So where has the money gone? What does it suggest? Do they have the competence to govern this country financially? Is that the problem? Or they want to attack a system which is helping the downtrodden? Because we know BJP is anti-downtrodden. They don't bother about it. They have the intelligence to cut the corporate tax from 30% to 22%.
Okay.
But they don't have the funds funds to provide for the
Okay, we'll come to the we'll come to the political point making or scoring in a second. But just tell me quickly, Tamil Nadu is short by how much at the moment?
1,100 crores. From 21/9/2021, we have not got any funds. 3,000 crores was the one which was allotted. It was utilized.
So
See,
tell
in
me,
a distressed year.
that is no. So before I move on very quickly, what does that mean? If you don't
Yes.
have funds, does that mean you are literally stopping Narega work, or you're paying out of your own pocket till you get reimbursed? What are you doing?
That's what. Until 21/9/2021, we have paid. Whatever money that was available, we have paid. From 21/9 to until now, 1,000 crore is the outstanding. Whatever money we can pay, we have paid. But the festive season, there is no money to be paid to them. And of course, if there is no money, the work will be stopped.
So work has stopped as of now?
Yes. We are not able to provide them with work because there is no money.
That's devastating. Jayati Ghosh, this is deeply disturbing, especially given the huge gap between what is expected to be paid and what is not. And as Saravanan is saying, are we already seeing an impact of that on the ground?
I think we're seeing more than that on the ground. You see, what's really happened is that, in fact, wage payments have also been delayed. And our calculations and very important work done by LibTech in Bengaluru show that more than half of the delay in wage payments is due to the central delays. We estimate 80 million wage payments delayed, affecting at least 50 million workers. This is in the middle, as you know, of the festive season. In other words, there's a massive impact on workers. So they have not been paid for work they have already done. But I also want to point out an additional factor, Sri Hassan, that what you mentioned about the 71,000 budget allocation, actually 17,500 crore of that just went into paying past liabilities that the centre has not paid from previous years.
Oh, okay.
So the actual budget allocation is only 53,500. Additional.
Even less. Okay.
Even less.
It's already short, and then it's even less than that. What do you make of this, Dr. Mohammad Javed, when the centre says, this is an interesting statement. The centre is not directly coming out to say that we have not paid the cash. They are sort of saying it in a slightly more indirect way, where they're basically saying fund release is a continuous process, and 18% increase has happened in the fund allocation this year. Yes, Mr. Dr. Mohammad Javed, can you hear me? You've muted yourself. You have to unmute yourself, sir. Dr. Javed, unmute.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, done.
Go ahead.
There's many things, but unfortunately, it's clear that this government is totally anti-poor, and as you mentioned rightly, that there are more than 2 crore people who have registered. And if you calculate the amount that as per 100 days of employment, the amount would be in the tune of, let's say, around 5 lakh crores or slightly more than that. So you're talking about just a token amount of 73,000 crore, which is almost 1/5 of the required amount.
Right.
And why did we get into such a situation? Because this government, unfortunately, does not know the art of governance. They talk and they talk a lot.
What do you make of their statement? They're saying fund release is a continuous process. What does that mean?
No doubt it is a process. But the process should have been proactive. Rather than giving the money after it's due, the money should have been given to the states much earlier. The figures say that more than 70% of the payment are due for more than a week, and almost 40+% of payments are due for almost a fortnight to a month.
Okay.
So it's very worrying for people who earn 200 and 300 per day.
Okay, Saravanan, though, if I want to ask you, Mr. Saravanan, that one point could be that you don't stop the work. Can't the states, can't you fund it from your own pocket till the centre pays up?
Yeah, see, if at least the union government has given us the GST dues at the right time, we would have had enough funds. But every conceivable opportunity, what the union government does is it withholds the funds to the states. It wants to it wants to play the big brother, but it does it have the heart of the big brother?
Okay,
No.
but
Now
I'm
the deep pockets
no,
of
no,
the big
I'm
brother?
saying,
No.
look,
Yeah.
I'm saying the GST funds is a separate question. I'm just saying
Yes.
that the
Yes.
states have their own fund revenue collection raising capacity. Isn't it possible to dip into some of that to at least keep NREGA going? Because it's terrible if it's shut, I mean, if it even stops for a day.
Yeah. See, the problem here is this. Already there was a pandemic, and our government has taken charge for the last 6 months, and we have announced various other welfare schemes, and we are dipping into those funds, whatever that is available, that is left, to fund the welfare scheme. And now to top it up, if this burden also is going to fall on the state government. It's going to be very difficult.
Okay.
And we have also reduced
Very-
the petrol price.
Very difficult. Okay,
And
Jayati, yeah.
Yeah.
Jayati Ghosh, is there some stopgap to for the states, something till the money comes through? Because so worrying if NREGA work starts, if it stops, if it's already happening.
Well, in fact, it's already happening, as was noted. In several states, it has stopped because states are really cash strapped. But I just want to point out that, this is against the way the law is designed. The law explicitly says that work must be provided when it is demanded, and it is the responsibility of the central government to make this money available. So, in fact, it's not a question of what your budgetary allocation is. That's irrelevant. You have to spend more than budgetary allocation if there is demand for work. And this has been done in the past. There have been supplementary demands for grants several years past under previous governments, when, in fact, work has exceeded the budgetary allocation. So, to say we had a budgetary allocation is meaningless. The law demands that you provide the work. That work, 90% of the money has to come from the central government. No state should be in deficit. It should be provided in advance. That is how the law is supposed to work. So, in fact, the central government is in contravention of this law right now.
Right. And I think even there have been Supreme Court judgments on this, saying
That's
that
right.
you have to provide the work. P.K.D. Nambiar, the great irony here is that the BJP started off, we all remember the Prime Minister's speech when the BJP was first, at least the Modi government came to office, saying that this NREGA is a monument to the UPA's folly, and we will keep it alive to keep people aware of this folly.
Yeah.
Cut to today, when you are actually boasting about how highest ever NREGA allotment. So
I will tell you
from
the fact.
there to here, right? And now the wheel has come full circle. You're actually not able to finance states. And by the way, the states that have written are not just opposition states. Bihar, 23 states are net negative today. So that's all states, virtually all states.
It is not all the states are gone negative so far. That is
23 states, my friend. That's virtually almost all the states in the union.
Okay, I'll leave that for a minute because otherwise I won't get the required time what I wanted to say. In the 14-15, since Jayati ji is also there, the allocation for NREGA was 37.5 thousand crore. That was the allotment. Today, after 7 years, the allotment is 73,000 crore, what you said. And I'm sure that this year there is going to
But
be...
then how is it a monument to the UPA's folly?
May I, at least I'll complete my statement. So what I'm saying is from the 37,000 to 73,000 crore, definitely it is more than a double or 100%
Yes.
allocation is being done.
Yes.
So the overall objective of this is to make sustainable livelihood on the rural sector. Now coming to the next part of it, there is another issue with NREGA. A person, of an eminent journalist like you should also brought this in. There is this is supposed to be from the demand-driven scheme,
Yes.
but it is not a demand-driven scheme anymore. It is more of like a supply-driven scheme or a supply-led scheme. So there is something like all of us needs to be really
On what?
discuss and debate that there is no demand on the ground.
My God.
But there is a supply. Demand
How are you?
with regard
One
to the
second.
project. With regard
Hold
to
on,
the
hold on.
project.
What
No.
basis? On what basis are you saying that? There is data
request-
that tells you the reverse. There is a large chunk of people who've demanded work and they've not got it. So anyway, Jayati Ghosh wanted to jump in. Yes, Jayati
No,
Ghosh.
I
And
think
then I'll come to...
you are not allowing, so you are just picking up something from what I want.
No, no.
I actually wanted to say something.
I'm not
but
picking
carry
up.
on.
These are your
No, no,
words.
Go on, go on,
You're
go on,
say-
go on.
You said there is
No,
no
no,
demand.
I'm
Okay,
not
Jayati
going to
Ghosh.
say
Jayati-
anything. You
Okay,
go
okay,
on.
okay.
You-
I'll come back. Jayati Ghosh, yes.
You know, the official data of the government, the MIS website tells us that there are 2 lakh crore households who are demanding work. Now, clearly, therefore, there is demand. And the law says you have to give them 100 days of work. So far, less than 10% have got even 80 days. More than 50% have got less than 30 days. Half the year is over. Only 5 months are left.
Yes.
There's no money. Obviously, the basic law is not going to be met. All these households have demanded work. You have not provided work. State governments that are providing work have run out of money. They have spent from their own money. 23 states are in deficit. So that money has to be provided immediately. It is urgent for the central government to make this available immediately through a supplementary grant allocation at once.
Right.
And this is not a benign gesture of the central government. This is required by the law.
Okay.
I wish to emphasize, it's not a choice or a daya of the government. It is
Right.
the law that requires you to provide the funds when there's demand for work.
Okay. And the demand is genuine, right? It's not as
That's right.
is being
There is
suggested.
extreme rural distress. All our other data suggest that money wages are down, days of employment are down. There is extreme distress.
Okay. But Dr.
Can I come
Javed,
in for a minute?
yeah, I'll come back to you. Piketty, I'll come back to you. Dr. Javed, are Congress states, what are Congress states doing? Are Congress states also stopping Narega work, or are you finding some stopgap?
We are trying to do our best, but the main problem we should understand is why did this figure of 9.8 million come to 20 million? Why did it double up? Because this government, as I said, they don't know how to govern. They don't know how to make plans and
Congress
make
states.
provisions.
Yeah, Dr. Javed, yeah.
I just wanted to say something. I mean, why did the figure of 9.8 million registered workers come to 20 million? Because there is no job available. All the job provider, small units, and even big units have shut down in this by this government.
Okay. But coming now to Congress states, yes.
Congress states, as I said, they are trying to do their best, but the central funding needs to be there. You know, they cannot, they can go to a certain distance only, but without the central assistance, it's very difficult for a state government to.
Mr. Nambiar, see, the point is we're all a bit surprised when you said that there's no demand and this is all supply. The fact that so many people are signing up, doesn't that raise serious questions about this talk that there's been some economic turnaround, we've come out of the slowdown? It shows you the reverse, doesn't it? It tells you that away from the shiny, malls and bazaars of urban India, there's acute distress in the countryside.
Correct.
So where is the turnaround?
Yeah, my initial statement was that there is definitely a rural distress. There is no doubt. But the difference is that the people who have registered for this 2 lakh crore workers, the workers who are registered, is not the time when during the second, the peak of the last time. Most of the people, now there is a reverse migration is already happening. You remember that, if you recall, that you have covered it extensively during the first COVID wave and the second wave, a large number of people who are from the cities were going back to their own hometown.
2.1 crore.
Now that is
2.1 crore is September 2021 figures now. It's not earlier. It's current.
So if you really look at the GST data, if you really look at the overall economic data from the last quarter only, there is a huge change which is taking place. The workers are coming back. So as this, there will be a major change in this particular data which you are talking about. I am only saying that there are, now you have misquoted me with regard to the supply side and as well as the supply led and demand led.
I don't think I misquoted you.
I invite you to a few states maybe to Tamil Nadu and Kerala only.
Yeah.
There are large number of places. Then this is not, I'm not
Okay,
here to
okay,
support
quick.
the government
Yes,
for
yes,
it.
yes.
A large number of works which related to Manrega happens
Yes.
only to fulfill the supply side, and there is no work.
Okay. I'm not sure. Again, as I said, we can't make, okay. I heard you out. We're out of time. We can't make anecdotal claims about this. The facts are as they are. There has been a doubling of the number of people signing up, which does not indicate that there is some artificial supply. It indicates, in fact, quite the reverse. But anyway, we're out of time. We'll come back to the story. Thank you all so much for joining us. That's it on Reality Check. Thanks for watching and happy Diwali.